My amplified unit, salute! We've got the latest in the AEW CM Punk buyout situation, the news that's making its way around the wrestling world. If you've been watching BC from the jump, I called this a month ago, along with several others, a few others, because we saw that this was the only logical outcome. There was no way this was going to work itself out other than CM Punk, Phil Brooks, and AEW parting ways with a massive buyout. That's exactly what's happening. Now, the latest might shock you, but BC is going to tell you exactly why it should not shock you. We'll get to that coming up. Also, the very latest on Ava Raine's debut, television debut for WWE. Of course, that's Simone Johnson, The Rock's daughter, and why it is so important what Shawn Michaels is now telling us, and especially with The Rock versus Roman Reigns looming large over WrestleMania LA. We got all the latest on that as well, and the huge story that Billy Gunn almost showed up to Monday Night Raw last Monday for the DX reunion at the very last second. WWE refused to acknowledge Tony Khan in AEW. What am I talking about? Big story, man. Kind of funny, kind of heartbreaking if you think about it. BC's got all the latest on these stories. We'll try to wrap it up as quick as possible, but to get started, we got to do it the right way. Sasha, please hit my motherfucking music. Will ya? Come on, girl. Hit that shit.
They want to rise up while you drown.
Salud.
They want to fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruising. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Alright guys, before I get to those stories, man, I just put up a video just a few hours ago, actually. A couple of hours ago from the recording of this. And that was the initial breaking of the story of CM Punk and AEW, the buyout that we knew was coming. And now it's just taken on a whole nother life because talks have now really amped up. And at any moment, I say before the holidays, any fucking day, any hour, any minute, we could hear that the buyout is complete. What we're hearing is it's just down to the non-compete clause now that Tony Khan wants to execute. So I'll have a little bit more on that coming up in this video. But I did put that up just a few hours ago. We went over that. Ronda Rousey upset with WWE because she has to be a woman in the women's division as a women's champion. She's not happy with that. What the fuck? Not that she wants to wrestle dudes. She just doesn't like the term women in women's wrestling. We talk about that in that video. And we also send our heartfelt condolences over to Kevin Nash for losing his son at 26 years old. We kicked off the show with that tribute. And a lot of other things, man. New Japan Pro Wrestling's president flipping out. Furious, I should say, is his word. Furious at a WWE star for double booking. Huge video that we just put out, man. Look like you guys are really enjoying that vid. I appreciate that, man. Ups are always appreciated. Support the channel. It's totally free. All you got to do is smash the up, man. That's all you got to do. Kicks in the algorithm. And that's all I ask, man. I never asked to throw BC a coffee. I don't need any super thankses down below. For those of you that do, you guys are the fucking best. But just smash that up, man. And you guys are really appreciating that video. I appreciate that. I cut that very early, and there was a lot to go over. Now, for this video, before I go over the subjects that I want to talk about, I want to start off with a little bit of fun first, man. Chucky, I was about to say Chucky woke up and chose violence to John Cena yesterday, but I think that's what Chucky does, right? Chucky wakes up and always chooses violence. I'm talking Chucky the doll, guys. Chucky wakes up and... I love this. Was it 2 days ago? Almost, right? 36 hours, something like that, man. Chucky sent the message over to John Cena, and hopefully Sasha can put this up in post-edit. Chucky says this to John Cena. Why does your Twitter account look like it's been written by a bag of fortune cookies? What the fuck? Chucky got jokes, bro. Chucky going in on John Cena, bro. Chucky said, why does your Twitter account look like it's being written by a bag of fortune cookies? Bro, come on, man. That is hilarious because if you've ever seen John Cena's social media, his tweeter. I mean, you have to decipher this shit. Literally, his last one that I came across. Hopefully you guys can see this. Sasha, you know the one I'm talking about. Can you please put that up in post-edit? Or at least try to? This latest one, it was just from a few hours ago. And he literally puts this. Each road you travel will be filled with those who tell you that you can't or you can. It's your choice to decide whether you won't or you will. And I kid you not, man. BC had to try to decipher this for 25 minutes. I couldn't really grasp what the fuck he was telling me. I had to read it 10 times. I'm still trying to realize it. Each road each road you travel will be filled with those who tell you that you can't or you can. It's your choice to decide whether you won't or you will. Why the fucking riddle, man? Just say get up and whoop some ass today. There you go. Exclamation point. John Cena can go about his way with less words, and we don't have to try to fucking crack our code into Fort Knox, right? This shouldn't be a Rubik's Cube, John Cena. We shouldn't be trying to get the Da Vinci Code out of you. Like, you think this, it's a maze trying to decipher this fucking guy. And I love how Chucky's like, why does your social media look like it's a fucking bag of fortune cookies? I tell you, I know, he's a sense of positivity, man. We're all just having fun. Listen, if Chucky can crack jokes, so can BC. It was just hilarious that Chucky, of all people, is fucking dragging John. I don't think John responded, but that's a little bit of fun that I wanted to start this bonus video today, the second video of the day. And while I'm on fucking social, actually, on the social topic, Maxwell Jacob Freeman had a fuck. You know I want this queued up, Sash. MJF recently puts... I love this, man. First of all, Mick Foley says MJF has some serious skills. While I might not believe every word MJF says, I believe that he believes every word he says, and that's important. MJF responded to Mick Foley, everything I say is true, especially here, right here. On Twitter. That's what Mick Foley used to say in the town. Right here, in Cleveland, Ohio, to get a cheap pop. So MJF says, everything I say is true, especially here, right here, on Twitter. Now go take a Nestia plunge off a bridge, Mickey. He tells Mick to take a fucking plunge off a bridge. MJF shows no chill, dude. Guy is legit 24/7, what you see on TV. I love it. And he also, just a few hours ago, man, literally just a couple hours ago, he says... I want this queued up, Sash. That's the best promo MJF ever cut, in quotes. In other words, that's what we all are saying every fucking time about this guy. Yet again this week, that's the best promo MJF ever cut, is what everybody's saying. And he says underneath, they said for the 100th time. In other words, MJF is hearing this every single time he grabs a mic, a live microphone, and by the time he drops it, the motherfucking microphone is heated up to about 1,000 degrees. That's how hot that mic is. And BC tells you all the time, that's what this guy does. He's a promo machine. He just dishes out one epic promo after another to the point where you just expect him to keep crushing his own ceiling. There is no fucking ceiling. Sky's the limit for this guy. And BC tells you that all the time. So it's funny to those that are not taking notice of that or just refuse to believe that. So every fucking promo, they're left saying, oh, it's the best promo I've ever heard of MJF. This is the best promo I've ever heard. This is the best promo. No, BC stopped doing that a long time ago. I called this one the promo of a lifetime because it hits every single category that you would want to hit in a promo. I'm not going to go over it again. I already talked about it in depth when we went over AEW Dynamite this week, along with NXT show. They went head to head. But, and I love that. After he they said for the 100th time, underneath, he says, never promos, just real life. And it's what I tell you guys all the time about people like Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, and MJF. There are very few wrestlers left today, MJF, Bray Wyatt, and maybe a few others, maybe a couple, that are in character 99.99% of the time. And that is so helpful to not just their characters and their storylines, but to pro wrestling as a whole. For pro wrestling to work, Kayfabe cannot completely be dead. It cannot be. Wrestlers need to hold their shit together even when the cameras are not rolling. And a lot of these wrestlers ruin their own storylines when the cameras stop rolling, when the show is over, and the wrestlers start fucking just tweeting out insanity, man. They're photos of the person they're feuding with at dinner, making jokes about their storyline. I mean, come on. Even Paige, I know it's no harm, no foul. And we all laughed at her social media post earlier this week. Rumor has it that we're still fighting in the crowd. Send help. It's funny, right? It's with social media. We all have a good laugh. But it doesn't do anything to really believe that Britt Baker and Paige, Saraya, that Saraya and Paige really have this beef. I mean, we're just joking about it an hour later. That night she's joking about still fighting in the crowd. It's just, man, I just wish there was a lot more seriousness and that the wrestlers took it more serious. You don't always have to be on social, bro. BC is proof of that. Just live your life, dominate. Everybody else will talk about you. If you're doing shit correctly, you don't have to be on sites like that. Everybody else, they'll be talking about you. These wrestlers, they just got to be the ones being talked about. And if they are going to go on and do posts, man, I hope that it's conductive to what they're trying to present on TV as well. Because it's their career we're talking about, and that works hand in hand with your life. So MJF just knows how to do it. MJF goes on here. He says, never promos, just real life. Anyway, guys, I just want to talk a little bit of the fucking social. It started with the funny shit with Chucky, but I wanted to give a shout out to Maxwell Jacob Freeman. I want to start out with Ava Raine. I almost want to say Alba Fire. They're changing all these names, and Alba Fire and Ava Raine kind of came... it was like a 1-2 punch when they changed their names. Ava Raine is The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson. Shawn Michaels has just recently given a big update on when we're going to see her on TV. He says possibly 2022, definitely 2023. It ain't going to be 2022. He just admitted in the same conference call that they're still having her do heavy promo classes. That means they're not quite confident that Simone Johnson, The Rock's daughter, is confident in herself on the mic because she's been doing heavy promo classes for months now. And the fact that she's still heavy into that, it shows you that there's still that reserved side of Simone that we all know is there. She's going to have to break loose, man. The Rock really has to work with her. It can't just be Shawn Michaels and those at the Performance Center. And I know The Rock is, but she has to just find her groove and confidence. Once you really believe in yourself, this sounds so cliche. It sounds so fucking hoorah speech like John Cena's cutting this promo and not BC. But when you get that confidence, I'm telling you right now, the sky's the limit as to what you can accomplish. Everybody else is then glued to you because you are exuding so much confidence that we are just, it's like a magnet, right? When you see it all the time, whether you were at school growing up or at work, when somebody is just down on themselves, you kind of walk past them. You look down upon them, unfortunately, sometimes subconsciously you just do because you're just like, oh, how sad. And then when somebody is just like, the delts are out, their chest is out, and they got a smile as they're walking, you're wondering, how the fuck do they got it going on? What is so magical in their fucking life? They're all happy. You're like drawn to that. You want that, You want to be around that positive energy. People are drawn to confidence. People do not like people, or don't like to be around, don't like to be around people that are just unsure of themselves. So you have to find that groove. And when The Rock was Rocky Maivia, his confidence was shot. He talks about it all the time. It was shot. He didn't know if he was coming or going, if he was going left or right. He didn't know. Vince McMahon is telling him that you can never smile enough, is what The Rock said Vince told him. Little did he know it was the opposite. We didn't want to see him smiling. We needed to see that heel side of The Rock. We wanted to see the confidence that we knew was in him, but he was too afraid to show. He was too insecure to show it. We're starting to see the same things with Simone Johnson. Once she really finds herself and she clicks and she doesn't give a fuck when anybody thinks, as long as it's in the realms of what she can say and not say, in the rules of WWE. But once she really finds herself, I really believe there's going to be a lot of fun stories in her career, man. I really see a lot of potential. I see a lot of The Rock. And it brings up an interesting thing. Shawn Michaels is saying definitely 2023. Those are his words. So you ain't going to have to wait long. That's just in a few months. And it gets you thinking, will she be a part? It doesn't mean she's going to be moved to the main roster fully, because that's too quick. But will she be a part of the Bloodline and The Rock storyline? The whole Bloodline. Who is the real head of the table? We know it's The Rock, but it's been Roman parading around for 2 years saying it's him. It's got to happen, that match. Whether you think it's a dream match or not doesn't even matter. Everybody has to be involved. Solo Sikoa is now in the Bloodline. Perfect puzzle piece placed where it should be. Say that 10 times fast. I believe Tamina Snuka should be involved with this. And maybe even side with The Rock. We all know it made huge headlines. The Rock buys Tamina a house. His cousin literally bought her a house. And it was all over headlines. People Magazine, you name it. You could use that. Maybe she backs up The Rock. Maybe she turns on The Rock, joins the Bloodline. But Simone Johnson, Ava Raine, I believe has to be a part of this. And maybe that's why they're really bulking up her promo classes right now. They're not worried about the fucking wrestling because they're not going to have her do too much of that on the main roster. But when she debuts in NXT, she's going to have to go. I don't think they're worried about her wrestling. I think she's ready to rock. It's the promos. It's that confidence. And again, the big question, Shawn Michaels is saying definitely 2023. You got to believe it's going to be the beginning, man. They really want that big shine of Simone Johnson, The Rock's daughter, for WrestleMania weekend for NXT or the main roster or maybe both in some capacity. Is she going to be involved in the storyline, man? Exciting. It's exciting, man. We'll see. Switching gears as well. We will go to, you want to go with, this is crazy, man. Billy Gunn was actually going to be a part of the reunion of DX last Monday. Right up until the day before, there was plans to have Billy Gunn, AEW's Billy Gunn, show up to WWE and the reunion. And everything fell apart because AEW, this is the latest report we're getting, AEW, Tony Khan wanted WWE to acknowledge him. Tony Khan wanted WWE to say that he's an AEW superstar or mention AEW in some capacity. Even the latest report, I'm talking 12 minutes before we just started filming, the latest thing we heard from Fightful is that WWE was being asked to put a logo when Billy Gunn comes out, an AEW logo graphic when he comes out. And at the last minute, Triple H, Paul Levesque was like, fuck that shit. Ain't happening, man. And this is the same shit they did with Mickie James with Impact. They mentioned Impact. They said she was an Impact champion. They showed the Impact title. They had no problem doing that. This is what I mean. Triple H has real beef with Tony Khan, and he doesn't even want to acknowledge the existence of Khan. He just wants to beat him, smother him, and put him underneath the rug somewhere, never to be fucking found. He has not forgotten about Wednesdays and being booted off and being defeated by Khan. And Tony Khan himself said, the way they're treating me, I don't see how we can ever work together. And he meant Triple H and Steph. He's heard what was going around the locker rooms about him. He knows that Paul Levesque doesn't care for him. All he was asking for was the same treatment as Impact. Just acknowledge us. Just say AEW and you can have Billy Gunn. And Paul Levesque was like, ain't happening, motherfucker. Nope. Billy could see himself out the fucking door, hit the bricks. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Would you just acknowledge AEW or would you say, fuck that, Billy Gunn ain't worth it? I don't know. It would have been cool to have him. Everybody was heartbroken by it. Road Dogg says literally, and I quote, I was heartbroken a day before when I found out we couldn't get him. Billy Gunn was heartbroken. Billy actually thought he was going to be used. They went as far as to actually get him the ticket and the accommodations, guys. Billy Gunn to Monday Night Raw, and it all just fell apart a day before because WWE, Triple H just did not want to acknowledge AEW. Again, you could say that's a hard request to mention AEW. What the fuck is Tony doing, man? Why is that so important? But it's the same thing that Impact asked, and they were granted it. I just think that's what I mean. For anyone that says AEW is not competition for WWE, or WWE doesn't look at them as competition, major bullshit. Because it is clear, by just not even saying those three letters, it's competition. H knows that. H has been beat by this competition with NXT, so H knows firsthand that it's competition. Heartbreaking all the way around. Acknowledge me! Never! And also, guys, in closing, a little bit of bonus information on the CM Punk situation with AEW and the buyout. I'm not going to go over every detail. I went over in length at the opening, sort of. If you caught the video I put up a few hours, you know what I'm talking about. But I went over the details on that. Now, the latest, I guess I'll go over the skeleton of what I'm talking about. AEW is going to buy out CM Punk's contract. I believe it's 2 to 3 years left. He's going to get a full buyout. That's a ton of money to sit the fuck at home. The only reason that it hasn't been made official yet is because we're hearing the no-compete clause is hanging them up. They can't really come to terms on what the no-compete should be. Like, obviously, Punk is not going to be able to work for a big North American wrestling brand over the next couple of years while his contract is still in play. We already know that. But what happens afterwards? I think Tony Khan is just trying to get an extra 6 months when the contract is done. 6 extra months that Punk cannot work for anybody, meaning WWE. And I think Punk doesn't want to do that. So Punk is like, hold the fuck up. Extra litigation. I ain't signing shit. Now, the bonus info that I have is the latest word we're getting is it's more CM Punk that wanted the buyout. Tony Khan was willing to talk more and let things play out for a little bit longer. It's CM Punk that is ushering along at a faster pace a full buyout. So on one hand, you can say, well, I kind of don't blame him. The holidays are coming up. He wants to wrap it up before the holidays hit. And he wants to be a fucking made man, get all that fucking money, and he knows he ain't going to come back because the locker room doesn't necessarily like him, and he don't like the locker room. So he doesn't want to be in that situation anyway. He doesn't see himself coming back. Why are we going to stretch this out into next year? Let's end this now. Give me my fucking money. We go our separate ways. So on one hand, you see why CM Punk wants to usher this fast. On the other hand, it's sad. People will say it's sad that you just aren't letting it kind of play out, man. Maybe in time, people will see things different. People will end up talking. Maybe you can come together and make a lot of money, and the locker room will be better than what it once was with Punk in it, right? Maybe we can make this better is what I'm saying. It's highly unlikely, though, guys. So I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't actually disagree with Punk trying to rush this along. If he truly knows a lot more than we do about what was going on in that locker room, or on his take, right, through his eyes, then I don't see how is that really going to change. By then, Omega and the Bucks are going to be back. They're not going to be singing Kumbaya. It's not going to turn out any better than when Triple H and CM Punk were at odds, and then they sat down and talked, and everybody thought they could make a lot of money together. And Punk re-signed, and then what happened? He walked the fuck out, unhappy, pissed off, because that's going to follow you along, man. H ended up not liking him even more. Phil Brooks ended up not liking Triple H even more. You think this will get better? That's high hopes. That's adorable to have hopes like that. I just don't see it happening. So we're hearing that CM Punk is the one that is ushering this buyout at a faster rate. And I totally am not shocked by that, nor should you be. Guys, this is the only outcome. If in the future they can work together in a few years, for a few appearances, that's awesome. But CM Punk coming back to that company to work another couple of years in that locker room when it's just trying to heal itself from the turmoil that Punk brought to it. And it wasn't just him, by the way. The EVPs are just bad for it. They should not be EVP. There shouldn't be 5 EVPs or 4. Cody ended up taking out. There's still fucking 3. And they're talents. And they're leaking information, by the way. If you guys think that the Young Bucks and Omega are totally innocent in this, not at all. And I'm not defending Punk, trust me. Nobody's innocent in this, and that's why they all were fucking suspended. But sometimes it's best to just go your separate ways. It's a shame, man. Everywhere CM Punk goes, he just burns the bridge, whether it's a fucking WWE or UFC or a fucking AEW, even if it's not completely his fault. It's like this dark cloud just follows this dude everywhere. If I'm Impact, I want to board up the fucking doors. But then again, Impact will take any fucking reputable name. They need it. Anyway, that's the latest. CM Punk is ushering this more at a faster rate. Can't even say I fucking blame him. Let me know how you guys feel about it. That's what I got for you. It's a bonus video from BC. I had a lot of coffee since the last video, and I felt I wanted to talk some more wrestling. Can you fucking blame me? Let's fucking rock, Sasha. Come on, girl. On the way out, you gotta hit my music. Top guy, BC is out. Check you for tomorrow. SmackDown's review. Hold on, don't hit it yet. I see your hand on I'm still talking. SmackDown tonight, Liv Morgan versus Sonya Deville. Championship match for the tag team titles of the women. Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Damage Control taking on Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi. Logan Paul will be appearing and a special segment of Bray Wyatt. So a big SmackDown. BC will talk all about it tomorrow. Okay, Sasha, now hit that shit. Check you guys.